Hey everybody, it's Scott. It's 9 o'clock on Tuesday night. Happy Tuesday. Got some cool stuff going on tonight. Can't wait to show you guys the 12 people that I picked for the photo contest winners. We're doing it was a pretty good contest. Thanks so much for doing it. We had so many entries. I had over 300 photos to take a look at. So that was phenomenal. We're going to do it again and again and again. And next time we're going to do one that's going to have some different theme to it to make you guys have like a little assignment to it. It was great. The response was fantastic. Hope you guys enjoy doing it. We're going to have 10 honorable mentions and a second place or first runner up and our winner. So we've got a cool night. We'll be here for a little bit, but first off, I just wanted to talk about some of the workshops that I've got coming up. So if you guys are interested in any workshops that are coming up, I've got the night sky photography one coming up on September the 12th. And it's going to be in a national park. It's 8 p.m. It's one of my normal night skies. These are always the more popular workshops that I have. As you can see on the Facebook page, things are a little bit different. These events now are showing multiple dates underneath them. So as I add more dates for these type things that I have all the time, like the night sky workshops, the Adobe Photoshops, the photo classes, you'll see more dates pop up. And so definitely keep a watch on them. Just because you see one here for Saturday, September the 12th, there's going to be more dates added after this one. But this is the next one coming up. So hopefully Mother Nature will keep us going and allow us to get that one in. Then I've got on September 14th, it's a Monday evening at 6. I'm doing Photoshop, but I'm doing Photoshop the way that I use Photoshop. I use Lightroom and Photoshop in very different ways. Photoshop's about 3% of my workflow. And so I'm going to be going through what I do in Photoshop. I've done this class before. I had a bunch of people ask me to do this class, and it worked out really, really well. So I'm going to do it again. This is live and online. So if you don't want to come into the gallery and be in person for this class, then you can certainly join remotely. We had a full day of all four of my four classes last Sunday, and there was remote individuals from many areas around here, and it all worked out really well. And I'm getting a lot of questions about when my next set of classes are. So the next set of questions are Saturday, September 19th at 9 a.m. This is going to be another day of all four of my classes: my lighting class, my composition class, my shooting in manual mode class, and my shooting in manual mode part 2. Again, this is live and online. We'll have online representation as well. You can take one of the classes, you can take 2, you can take all 4. Most people come in and they take all 4 of them. It's a great deal. It's a great day of learning. We have a lot of fun, and you're going to come out ready to hit some of my workshops. Here's the different classes that compose that day. You've got composition, you've got lighting, manual mode part 1, part 2. And then coming up September 21st, I've got another one of my Take Better Photos with Your Cell Phone. Very popular. You know, everybody's got their cell phones on them. So definitely check that one out. If you are taking your photos and you want to use Adobe Lightroom, October 19th is going to be my next Lightroom class. So yes, that's a ways away, but let's fill that thing up. It's going to be live and online. And this is an intense 2-hour to get you up and running in Adobe Lightroom. If you want to use Adobe Lightroom, if you're a little confused by using Adobe Lightroom, I've been using it for 10 years, so I know it backwards and forwards, and I'm going to show you what you need to do to be able to basic edit your photos. I'm going to have more Adobe classes coming down the pipe, but this is the part 1, and this is what you need to get you started. And definitely coming up soon. I mean, we're at October 23rd, the weekend of October 23rd in 2020. Fall foliage weekend. So this is multiple 2 days of workshops. I think it's 4 separate workshops in there in the national park. Last year we were at peak season during this same time of the year, and I think we're going to be there again. We're starting to get some cool nights. We're starting to get plenty of rain. So definitely check out the fall foliage weekend that I'm doing. I got sunset overlook for ones coming up. This is on that same weekend as well. And then the one I really want to show you is right here. So let's click on this one. This is half full, and this is going to be a huge workshop. This is an entire weekend, the first weekend in November in Beckley, West Virginia, the New River Gorge area. We're going to be shooting, and you can look here at this picture. So we're going to be shooting the bridge. We're going to be shooting fall foliage. We're going to be shooting Cathedral Falls. We're going to be shooting other waterfalls. We're going to be doing a little bit of hiking. And we're going to be shooting the grist mill down here in the bottom right in fall foliage. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Hotel accommodations are included in this. We're going to come back on Saturday night, and after we're all done, we're going to sit down and have a pizza party and critique people's photos. And, you know, you're going to learn a lot. It's going to be a really, really cool weekend. It's my first destination workshop, and I can't wait. So that is on the Facebook page or the website. Go in, they're there. Again, this one is half full, so we're filling them up. It's the first weekend in November. That's about it. Let's see, we've got a comment right here. Jessica Cooper says, do you need a certain lens to do a night sky workshop? So the answer is no. No, you do not need a certain lens. For the night sky workshop, I actually recommend a wider angle lens, you know, 24 to 70, or even wider than that. You can do a 10 to 18. It depends on the field of view. Basically, the reason why I recommend a wider lens is the more telephoto you use, the more you zoom in on the stars, then the more you zoom in, the faster the stars move. For us to get really good exposures of the stars, we want to be able to have a shot that takes about 15 seconds of long exposure. So in that time, the stars will be moving if you're zoomed in more. So you want to be more of a wide angle shot, not a telephoto zoomed in shot. So that's the answer to that. Any lens you have, you can come. I mean, it's definitely for sure going to work, but definitely wider angle is always better. We get to a point where we're working for 15-second shots. We're boosting our ISO up a little bit, but we're doing some really cool stuff with the Milky Way. The fall time is a really great time for the Milky Way, so I look for the one this in September. We should definitely get some really cool Milky Way shots. So definitely come join us. Great question, Jessica. All right. So I don't see any other comments or questions. If anyone does, I'm looking on the Facebook page right now. Let me check very quickly on the YouTube, and I don't see any on there either. Okay, so we will keep going. Now let's get to what we were all been waiting for. So basically, like I said, we had over 300 entries into the photography contest. This was really, really good. You know, I was ecstatic over it. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go through the 10 honorable mentions first. Then I'm going to show you the first runner-up, which is second place. The first runner-up wins something as well. I believe it was a $50 photo credit, if I remember correctly. And then the last thing I'm going to show you is going to be the winner. So as I go through these photos, I'm going to tell you why I chose these photos. I'm going to tell you what I liked about these photos. There were a lot of good photos. There were, my criterion to going into judging is I wanted to feel something. Right? If you've attended my classes, I always tell my participants to tell a story, right? So I wanted to feel something from the photo. I wanted to get a story from the photo. I was also looking at technical merit. I was looking at, you know, sharpness and exposure, obviously. I was looking at composition, of course, the lighting, of course. Those kind of things fell into it. But in the end of the day, I wanted to feel something from it. Then all of these people that are the 12, they're all going to be put in frames and they're going to be up in our gallery for sale. So I also looked at sellability of the photo. Do I think someone's going to come in and buy this photo from that person? So all of those were things that I took into consideration. Now, there's no right, there's no wrong. This is just my personal opinion, but it's my contest. So there we go, right? I think you'll agree. These are some decent photos for sure. And some of them I was very pleased to see in there. Now, I will say there are some people that I have had shoot with me before that put in that I know they have better photos, and I'm sure they'll come and talk to me afterwards. So I've seen some that have actually done better than what they submitted in. So without further ado, let's go. Let's do it. I'm excited. All right. So the very first one that we're going to put up is a shot from DC. And this is from Edward Wood. So Edward Wood is the first honorable mention. And this is a really cool shot of the Tulip Garden at the U.S. Capitol. I like this shot because it does tell a story. I can be right there. I can see myself right there. I can smell the flowers. I liked how the flowers are nice and sharp, and he used depth of field in the back. To me, the rule of thirds is in play. The foreground background is in play. So I really, really, really like this shot a lot. So Edward, good shot. Honorable mention for you. You will be on the wall in the gallery. All right. Tell me what you think about Edward's shot. Leave a comment. Next shot. So our next one, we are going to go down to, this is a shot by Alex Shepard. And this is a fantastic shot out in the West. You see these shots a lot. I do wish there was more color in the sky and it wasn't so blue back there. That's something that probably could have been taken out with maybe, Lightroom or, a filter or something like that. Other than that, I really like the composition. I do like how the mountains are in the top rule of thirds line for me. Everything's nice and sharp and in focus. It definitely tells a story for me. It draws me to it. I actually kind of want to know where this is so I can go and visit it one day. I can smell it. I can see it. I can touch it. So that's something that I always look for. So Alex, great job. You're in the honorable mention as well. All right, next up is a shot from Sherry Sakala. So Sherry has been in quite a few classes and workshops, and she submitted a bunch of photos that it looked like was from Harper's Ferry, if I remember correctly. This one just pulled me away. This one literally pulled me away. It told me a story that most photos didn't tell me. It was a point of view that most people wouldn't look at. And if you've attended my workshops and especially my classes, you hear me talk about viewpoint all the time. Everything is viewpoint, viewpoint, viewpoint. Do something different, right? Be different. Well, this is definitely different. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You clearly could put yourself there. You could clearly feel the story. I love the reflection of the tree on that rail right there. The rail is right on the rule of thirds. It's pulling you into it, and you're following all the way down that rail as it bends to the left and brings you back into the photo so you see the rest of the railroad tracks. So Sherry, great job. Really like this photo. I think black and white was a perfect choice for it as well. I think it would be a little distracting if it wasn't black and white, if it was in color. So you've got a lot of contrast there. You could tell it looked like maybe a very white sky that day. So those type days are perfect for black and white photos. So great job. Great job. Really like that shot. All right. Next up by Kathy Russell. So this, I really like this shot. It looks like an HDR type shot, which I'm okay with. Colors are maybe a little more vibrant than what I would expect them to be in real life. That's why I think it's probably an HDR shot. Either way, I really liked it. You're getting a little bit of starburst from the sun. I like the composition though. I like the rule of thirds set up with the sunflowers at the bottom and then the larger sky at the top. The island of trees on the right-hand side is right on the rule of thirds. The sun is very close to being on the other rule of thirds. It makes me feel like I can be there, right? It's balanced out. I really, really, really like that shot a lot. So Kathy, great job. Let's see, we got a couple comments. So I think this was a few photos ago. Lindsay said nice angle, and Jessica Cooper said beautiful. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on. Our next honorable mention is from Holly. So this is a really cool shot of a door with a very rustic little reef on it. I like the shot because I like it in black and white. I love the contrast of this. So this is something that it's a very simple, and you guys hear me talk about it in my classes on as well. Keep it simple. Just keep it simple and tell a story. This is a story. This could be multiple stories. It could be all kinds of different stories, but it's definitely a story. It's not distracting. It's not too busy. The crop is absolutely perfect because you've got just as much on the right side as you do on the left side. It's symmetrical, and I talk about that all the time in my classes. So I really like the shot. Black and white would be perfect for this type shot because you've got that light colored door, the light colored wall, and it really brings out that wreath, and the wreath is what you're trying to show here. So I like it. Great job, Holly. Since you've been to some of the classes as well as Sherry and a couple others, great job. Makes me feel good that some things are coming across to these people. So good job. Good job. All right, next up, next honorable mention is Alyssa Hussey from Through the Bird's Eye View. Now, I've seen Alyssa put a lot of stuff on her Instagram page, and a lot of her stuff, I think if I'm correct, is from South Carolina. A lot of South Carolina, like Charleston type shots. This one stood out. She put in some of those. You're welcome, Holly. Good job. She put a couple of the South Carolina shots in there, and they were great. This one stood out to me. This was, we had a few different macros in there. We had some butterflies, we had some bugs. This one really stood out to me because it's not one you normally see. One thing is the white background. I'm still trying to figure out if that was the sky or if it was a wall. So Alyssa, if you're on here, it's, shoot a comment because I'm curious about where the white came from. But I actually like the white because it really kind of brought out the dragonfly a little more. I like the dragonfly's head right on the rule of thirds line. I like its abdomen going across the bottom rule of thirds line. I like those little weeds it's hanging on the rule of thirds line. It just pulls me right to the dragonfly's head, and I'm seeing the eyes right there. Why did my camera stop? All right, so we're going to keep on going.